Good morning, everyone, and welcome to draw number 4 of the Canada Winter Games 4-player boys and girls provincial championships. My name's Jim Nix, and I'm joined this morning by Gail Sinclair. Gail, you've got that coffee ready now, I assume?
I sure do, Jim. Good morning.
Okay, perfect. Um, yeah, so we're here at the Mayflower Curling Club for draw number 4. It's the brand new Mayflower, Gail. I don't know if you're real familiar with Mayflower. I'm not sure where you play out of even anymore, but I haven't been here yet, but it sure looks like it would be an amazing facility.
It certainly is, Jim. I've been at the Mayflower quite a few times, coaching a U18 team that plays out of Mayflower, and we are there weekly practicing, and as well as the club hosted the U20 provincials this year, so it is a fabulous facility.
Yeah, it looks like that. It doesn't look like I'll get there this year, so I'll look forward to that for next year. So this morning we have a couple of teams that are in a position where they need a win quite badly. I think we've got Team Trenaman from the Mayflower here and Team Spindler from Lunenburg. Um, both teams sitting at one. Spindler at 0-3 and Trenaman at 1-2, and there's at least one spot left, I think, Gail, for the playoff round. The top 4 make it, and there's 3 teams at 3-0, and everybody else kind of trying to get that last spot here.
Yes, I'm sure these two teams are real excited about this game this morning.
Yeah, I'm going to try to adjust some volume a little bit here. I'm hearing you, but I've got a little bit loud coming from the arena, so nice to have the mic. So yesterday we just didn't quite get that working right, and everybody's got that fixed now. So looking forward to hearing from the players. It's kind of an added treat.
It's always fun to hear their commentary.
Yeah.
So it looks like we're starting off with Team Spindler having hammer this morning. Team Trenaman putting the first one in the house.
Yeah, it's interesting. Yesterday, I didn't know. I'm not very familiar, as I mentioned earlier, that with the juniors anymore, and I didn't know which team was which, and so I wasn't quite sure who had hammer here in the first end, but we got it all sorted out now, so that's great.
I know I recognize Team Spindler from the South Shore, close to my area, so those boys look familiar. Team Trenaman, a newer team. They're all quite young, but a newer team as well, so this should be a really great game.
Yeah, it's an interesting event in that it's really kind of like a U18, I think, probably at the end of the day. And you've got some really young teams, and you've got some teams that have been playing for a while. So there's quite a variation. And as a result, sometimes we get a few lopsided scores, but it's all a learning process for a lot of these players. And you got to start somewhere, kind of thing. So that's a good shot here from Lead Stone with hammer here.
Well, everyone looks like they're happy to put rocks in the house. We're going to see a hit coming from Team Spindler. This would be Jude.
Yeah. A little chilly out there. We've got a couple of hoodies up and everything. This one's going to have a hard time getting over there. Might catch the back. No, won't do that either. Just a little wide, a little heavy probably on that shot. Certainly, I always like to throw a little extra weight in the first end, but you've got to make sure you got the broom in the right place for the players to do that. So
we're looking at second stone's shots, looking like a hit to get rid of the sole yellow rock in the house. This would be Finnegan Daly.
going after the outside yellow rock here. Going to have to really hurry on this. I don't think they're going to hold that. No. You just hear the players say they're probably right, I would think. We did find yesterday that there's a lot of curl in this ice, which is great. I think it's great for the players at all levels. And I think everybody enjoys it more when it's got a lot of curl. But it is quite an adjustment probably for some of these teams that might not play on ice that curls this much. on a regular basis. Going to get a piece. He might drive it on the zone here. Yeah, a little unfortunate there.
That was Spindler's Evan Griffiths playing third stones. Oh, I think I said that wrong. Evan Griffiths is second stone. My apologies.
Yeah, that's all right. Got the little hop system. The young fellows have been watching that one on TV lately. That's an interesting technique. It's odd looking, but apparently it does work as far as, especially if you're a lighter individual, it's getting a little extra pressure down on the broom.
Team Spindler's looking at 3 rocks now.
This is Evan Griffiths, the second stone for Team Spindler. Really nice delivery. I really liked watching that throw, and a good result as well. Yeah, you mentioned that this team plays out of Lunenburg, and that kind of down in your neck of the woods. I think, generally speaking, South Shore is have pretty active junior programs. I think in the Bridgewater Lunenburg area, and see a lot of really good young players come out of there, and probably more than anything, participation. I don't know if that's still true, but I know back a few years ago that would have been the case for sure. A little wide.
The Spindler team from Lunenburg, their coach on the bench is Adam Curry. You may recognize him from a few years, having a pretty successful junior career himself. If I remember this coach, their coach Adam, I believe, won the U18 provincials.
Okay.
So that's nice to see, Jim, when you see young curlers progress and become coaches.
Yeah. Yeah, it means two things. It means the curlers are getting better all the time, and it means we're getting older all the time. I don't know which one I really like the best. Trying to make this one curl a little bit. Going to get a piece, I think. Will, but maybe enough to get it out, and it is. Pretty active circles, pretty lively circles. It's I didn't think he hit enough of that one to get it out, but they did. What I found yesterday a little bit doing the one game I did there yesterday afternoon is that the juniors don't have much fear when it comes to rocks and play. They are more than willing to leave rocks around that you or I may not ever leave around.
Mm-hmm.
This being a prime example, most people would probably hit that yellow stone and not draw to this, regardless of whether or not he had hammer or didn't have hammer.
Pretty good sweep, getting it there.
Yeah.
Nice.
Having said that, that's pretty good effort.
I'd say Team Spindler's hoping to eliminate one, if not two, of these Trenaman red stones.
So out turn hit, and this would be Jude Brooks. It's probably a little tight, working hard on it. Gonna have to keep good throw. You let it curl a little bit more. Close, good shot.
I would say Team Spindler's still pretty happy. There's the house is open. There's nothing out front with hammer. That's something you like to see.
Yep.
I think they're a little concerned about a jam.
Yeah, got to be a little careful with this one, but only good news if you jam it, you're probably going to come up against the other yellow, but um, I think you're probably going to try to get this a little bit on the inside. So you hear them talking, and I'm not quite sure which two guys are mic'd, but obviously Skipper's mic'd, and at least one of the front end are wearing a mic. So you play the double here. Think it's there, Gail?
I think it's there, but I think the jam's going to result. Um,
Yeah. So Parker, left-hander. Might be a little on the light side. Can he hold it? He needs to hold it at least for the one, and he will. No problem, I think. That's a very good shot.
so now the double attempt, I think, switching to the Spindler team. Spotting some stars in the crowd.
Yeah. Yeah, some of the rule changes since I was coaching, and not that many years ago, I was coaching junior teams are interesting as far as coach interactions and when you can talk to your team and when you can't and all that. So it's interesting to see teams conversing with coaches more often than we used to kind of allow that. This one's going to get the top one only, I think. It will. Still sitting number two and number three, though. Not a terrible situation, depending
Hmm.
on what. So an early.
Well, it's early to call a timeout. I'm a bit surprised here in the first end. Oh,
A lot of questions on what they actually are calling here. So I'm not sure, Gail. You may know, and if you don't, that's fine too. But I'm not quite sure how the interaction rules work, if you will.
well,
But this is not what this is about, I guess.
okay, yeah. See the umpire on the ice. So there must be something may have happened.
Yeah, I can't quite imagine.
Hmm.
Yeah, baffles me as well. I don't have no idea what that conversation was about. But obviously, it was a technical thing, so there's no timeouts or anything to be charged on that.
I was watching some games yesterday, Jim, and the one thing that's changed, as you've mentioned, is the ability to chat with your coach between shots while you're not in control.
Yeah,
And then I was a little unsure the actual timeouts that you can call when you are in control. At the U18 level, there's two per half, and at the U20 level, one per half. And I found it hard to figure out which they were following, whether it was the one or the two.
yeah, yeah.
And being Canada Winter Games, I would think it's the U18 rules with two interactions per half. So maybe we'll watch and see if we can determine which of those rules
Yeah,
are followed.
I should have cleared that up with our junior coaches before this weekend, but from our
Hmm.
club, but I didn't do that. So, what do you think of this, Gail? Do you like this shot here, splitting the house here?
I personally would get rid of the yellow.
Yeah,
Just
I'm
with the
with you on
extra.
that. This is going to be a good result, though. I will say that.
It's my concern would be the biter over there as well. There's a chance here for a two or three score for Spindler, and I think eliminating one of those yellows would be a little safer here in the first end.
Yeah, it's it looks like the double might be there, but really, really tough double. I think probably just a hit for one. So a good draw there
Mm.
from Maxwell Trenaman, and going to force to one here. And a very nice shot here by Spindler. Oh, I guess I got ahead of myself. Oh, no, that was the last rock.
It was a good end. There certainly was a chance for a multiple score, but the double just wasn't quite there for him. So good single point.
Yeah, so both teams taking a little time to figure out the ice and figure out the weight and all that here. And but Spindler will pick up a single here in the first end, and we'll take a 1-0 lead. Teams get about, I don't know, it looks like about 60 seconds. It seemed like yesterday that's about what the break is between the ends.
Yeah.
We have to put up the score. I got to remember how to do that.
And that 60 seconds goes fast, Jim. You got a lot to say as a coach sometimes.
Yeah.
Lots of chatter about the ice and how they're going to play this end a little differently and read the ice differently. Looks like he's going straight in the house again.
One thing about it, they really do play fairly quickly. Occasionally, I found yesterday, occasionally they will get a little baffled by something, and it took them a while to kind of sort through that. But generally speaking, the game moved along very well, much better than many of the men's and women's games that I've done over the last couple of years. Um, and when they get in the hack, Skips and everybody, they don't take very long. Like usually, they're just in the hack and gone. You're kind of just getting ready to call the shot, and the rock's already halfway down the sheet sometimes. So at least they don't waste time, which is good because everybody gets cold. It's not much fun, not much fun to watch or play when the game moves too slow.
So it's you can't see, Jim, but they do have the time clocks on these teams, probably upstairs.
Yeah. Well, Jacob Daly deserves a little bit of a pat in the back on that one. Man, he worked hard to get that rock over and actually got it over far enough to stay, which was a great effort by Jacob Daly. Second stone on Team Trenaman. Trenaman mentioned earlier, Trenaman sitting at 1-2 and Spindler at 0-3 now. Sounds like that's a long way down, but it's really not because the top three teams are 3-0, and um, then there's a big gap, and it gets right down to a couple teams at 2-1. So you don't need to do a lot, but you need to pile up a couple of wins here to maybe have a shot at that last playoff spot on Monday.
Mhm.
4 teams make the playoffs on the boys' side. There's 8 teams altogether.
So it looks like still trying to feel the speed of the ice. That draw unfortunately went through for Team Spindler. Giving Trenaman a chance to set up for another rock in the house. Split the house again.
Just for those that might not be familiar, when you hear the players calling out the numbers in that situation, it's generally speaking, the numbers go 1 to 3 in the guard zone, and then you go just count it back from the top of the 12 foot to 4, 5, 6, 7. That's to indicate to the skip where that rock is expected to end up. So when they hollered 5, they were thinking maybe full 8 foot at the top, and then he changed it to 7, which would mean T line. So they weren't that far off. The rock went a couple feet past that, but pretty good judgment on that one. Griffiths didn't look happy with that. And it looks like he's probably going to go by. And he will. So a chance for Trenaman to sit 3 here now with Hammer here in the second end.
Mm-hmm. Everything's been a little deep in the house. Let's see if they can adjust their weight and get things at the top of the house this shot.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just trying to find the scoreboard here to update the. Hmm.
Just ran a stopwatch on that, Jim. I got a 14.5 second hog line to hog line. Nice weight. Nice throw. Good spot for Team Trenaman.
Yeah, pretty good setup right now for Trenaman. He's got sitting three and spread out, not bad. There's almost always going to be a double opportunity if you got three rocks in the house, and there is one here, but still well
Evan,
spaced.
Evan Griffiths attempting another hit here, Jim. This looks better, huh?
A little jam, but good throw.
Good result with the one rock rolling behind his shot rock.
Yeah, and you got a couple of rocks back there that might get in the way of the shot. So, a couple of helpers back there. Yeah, that's never good.
You might hold it.
Not going to hold that one, I don't think.
No.
No.
So that changes the gears here for this end. We're looking at Team Trenaman controlling the end, and a couple of shots, and things have changed to a possible steal here for Spindler.
Well. Very aggressive call here, going in the rings without hammer. And a couple of red ones sitting around the back. But it's there now. Got to make it double to.
Give a quick update on the other boys' games after the first end. Team Berrigan scoring 1 in the first end against Team Salzman. That's on sheet 1. On sheet 2, Team Lay playing Team Keddy. No score after first end, blank. And on the fourth end, Team Fury scoring 1 against Team Cal.
This could be really good. Not going to have enough weight to make the double. Kind of a bit of an in-between call there, which has made it tough. Where I'm not. I think they were sort of throwing a couple of shots all in one there. It was like they talked about the double, and then they were thinking they could just kind of get it into the pocket, if you will. But it was pretty makeable double with just a little tiny bit more weight than he had there, which would have been good. It was going to be hard to get rid of both rocks the way they played it. So does give Spindler a chance to maybe sneak out of this, although this one's curling hard. Oh, he's going to be perfect.
Good. Pushed it through the hole.
Yeah, very nice shot. I think that's a good call, Gail. I think that's better than just hitting a shot rock right now. A couple of reasons. One is you can get right in front of this and give yourself a really good opportunity with the next shot. And I think secondly, I don't know what you would think. If you hit the back one, it's usually almost always better to hit the top one if you can.
Yeah, the double's possible too if it's thin.
Yeah, this could be really good if you can just get a little bit more curl out of this. Will you get over there?
Oh.
Not quite.
Yeah, there was certainly more options hitting the top one of things that could go well for you.
Yeah. You're going to see a guard call here, probably. Probably the right call, I think. Gail, what do you think? It's that redstone's number two at the back, but that's really hard to chase that, I think.
I agree. I think this is a good opportunity to take a steal. That rock is right on the button. So it's a nice spot to protect it and see if you can hang on to that point. Looked like he called for pretty close to the house for a guard, top 12.
This should be good. They got to be careful sweeping these because you can easily make it curl too far, and then usually there's no stopping it. Once it gets past where you want to be, you're not going to bring it back. So that was a pretty good job, but you can see what I mean there. It just went probably about an extra 6 to 8 inches more than you'd like as far as the line goes. That's tough. So Trenaman now looking at removing the yellow shot rock. Definitely accessible. Not an easy shot, but I think it's accessible. What'd you throw here, do you think, Gail? Would this just be like a kind of a hack weight shot, maybe?
I agree. That's looks like quite a bit of ice, although we're seeing good curl even with some weight. So, but I think he's going to keep it a little lighter and controllable with the sweepers.
Yeah. Yeah.
Should be able to maybe even get to the nose of this rock.
You could actually. I definitely think you could for sure. Not good start. If he's narrow out of the gate, then it's hard to hold it. Just got to make sure you get rid of the guard at least.
Mm-hmm.
So, not perfect, but you force him to make a perfect guard this time, or else you'll still have that same opportunity. He could draw in for number two here, too. I suppose that's the other option, Gail.
Yes.
Wouldn't be bad. But he just threw this, so he's going to go with this again.
It's always good when you're repeating your shot, Jim, and you've learned something from the one you just threw. So it brings your chances up of making it a little better.
Yeah. This slid into the 8-foot, it wouldn't be a bad thing. You'd set up a double, but doubles are not that easy. As long as you got the line right. Looked a little bit soft to me, but it's going to be hard not to overcrow with this, I think. No, it's much better than the first one. Still gettable, I think, but much harder. 90%. I haven't heard that one before. It's interesting terminology. It's you just get some different things with the kids.
Yeah, the camera angles are difficult. I think that's an optimistic 90%.
Yeah. I might call it more like about a half rock or 3/4 rock or something like that. So out turn takeout attempt here for Maxwell Trenaman. Should be close. Can't quite see it. Maxwell's in the way.
No,
Needs to get over there. Very nicely done.
Another single point in, Jim. So tied up 1-1.
Yeah, it's a good shot there. Panicked a little bit on that, I think. It was, and not surprisingly, they saw the first one come over and hit the guard and just maybe got a little excited on that one. Could have probably managed to make that stay somehow.
I agree. They maybe were a little nervous. The first one curled so much after it got across that center line. But
yeah.
Good end, and I got some updates for you from the girls' games. I have on sheet 5, Team Cochran playing Team McAvoy, and after the first end 1-0 for Team Cochran. On sheet number 6, Team Wilsey playing Team Gates, and Wilsey picked up 4 in the first end for a 4-0 start. And on sheet 8, Team Heb playing Team Pemberton, and Heb picked up 2 in the first end, 2-0 for Team Heb.
Good stuff. I have an interesting. I think I said earlier there were 3 teams at 3-0, and that was not right. Actually, there's 2 teams at 3-0 and 2 teams at 2-1. And ironically, they're all playing each other this morning, so you could have quite a change in the standings as we move on. For those that are watching too, we do have another draw today at 3 p.m. Both today and tomorrow, the draws are 9 and 3 p.m., 9 a.m. and 3 p.m. And then on Monday, I guess it is, for the semifinals are at 9 and the finals are scheduled for 2 o'clock. So if you want to put all that in your calendar and you want to watch these kids curl all weekend, you now know when it is. And you feel free to drop down to the Mayflower Curling Club. Brand new Mayflower Curling Club. I said that yesterday as well, and I haven't been in it. It hasn't even completed its first season yet at the brand new Mayflower, and it's 8-sheet facility, which is really remarkable out in Timberley. The exact address, if you're punching it into a GPS or whatnot, it's 82 Market Way Lane in Timberley. Right beside the big grocery store. I think it's a Sobeys, but I'm not positive on that, so I should be careful with that. But yeah, it's a neat and big growing area out there by the golf club, by Brunello. That whole area out there is growing immensely, and I think it's going to be a great site for the new Mayflower Club.
You can definitely see the club from the highway, Jim. It was exciting to watch its build.
Yeah, I
And it
bet.
was going up, and everyone talking about it. So when the doors opened, it was exciting. And the video online is just amazing. It's awesome coverage. You can see both houses and each end. It's really a great advancement for people at home watching the game.
Yeah, it's great to have the opportunity to bring these games, and it's not many clubs have this. And I don't know if you've been to Sydney in the last couple of years. They have an amazing system down there that they put in, and they do a lot of broadcasts from their club. I don't know how much it costs to do this, but probably unless you're building a new club, it's a hard thing to afford to do. But yeah, tremendous. Anyways, either way, it's like I say, and we're on opposite ends of the province pretty much. So I didn't see the process when they were building the curling club at all. If I went into the city, I was never in that area. So yeah, that would have been kind of neat to see the changes if you were down there once a month or something, or just to see what was happening there. So we better get back to talking about the game a little bit. Not too much happening here yet, so we didn't miss a lot.
First guard we've seen this game. Guard put up by Team Trenaman.
There's a very nice draw. Overcurled a little bit, but still a very nice draw. Tough to get to, and if you do get to it, you have to get it from the outside. So pretty good spot.
Ethan Stanzel, I believe. Oh, no, we're on second. Stones, that's Jacob Daly. Sorry about that.
I don't think he's going to be able to get this one over. Good attempt by Finnegan Daly. 2 Dalys on this team. And that usually means they're brothers. And in this case, they both have the same hair. So definitely sure it's got to be brothers.
And here we have Evan Griffiths on Team Spindler.
See Maxwell chatting with the coach a little bit. We talked about the coaches yesterday, and you got to admire coaches that do this. And it's especially now that they make you go on the ice. I was glad I was almost done when they started introducing that. It's a neat feature, but man, it can get cold out there. Some curling rinks are colder than others, and I don't know what this one's like, but I don't really care which one you're at. It's going to be cold. You're out there for 2 hours or more. Adam Curry coaches the Spindler team out of Lunenburg, and team of Mayflower. I've got two coaches listed here. I've got Caitlin Stanzel and Shanna. I think it's Shanna Trenaman. Might be Shauna. I'm not sure, but um, I don't know which one's on the ice right now. But either way, congratulations for working with these kids and making it possible for them to do what they want to do. So, intern come around here for Daly and looks pretty good. A little tiny bit overswept, but very nice shot.
It is shot rock, yes.
Yeah, those are the things that you'll learn as you're in this game a little bit longer. And most of these teams are fairly young and haven't played a ton yet. And that shot is a great shot on one hand, and really just not a great sweep on the other hand because you just took it behind the tee line and you didn't really have to. So that's always hurts. But that's what you learn, and you figure that out as you go. So this one's a little heavy, I think. Trying to get it over there. Just not very much heavy, and probably shot rock. Second shot. I mean,
it's certainly when you can see as it picks up the curl and starts to move, the speed comes down quite quickly.
Yeah. Getting to be quite a pocket down there. So the first team that manages to put one in that pocket is probably in a good position to score in this end. As you mentioned, it's a 1-1 tie. So
looks to me like red may be shot, but that's a little hard to see with the black and white color on the surface.
Yeah, I agree. I'm thinking red's number 1 and yellow's 2, 3, but I'm not positive.
This white's looking pretty good, Jim.
Yeah, if they can get it there, it's going to be great. Well done. Shot rock, perfect spot. It's a little bit open, but not really accessible for that matter, because it's no matter what you do here, it's going on some of those rocks that are at the back, which just gives you another reason why we didn't like those rocks at the back. So Parker Spindler making I think a very good choice here to clean up the front. Gail, is that what you would think would be good here? I'm not sure if.
I agree.
Yeah.
Cards are close together. It's a good chance to eliminate both of them. The right.
Yeah, curl a ton. Should be okay. It's going to leave one out there, but
not the right one.
Yeah.
A yellow one.
Good news for Trenaman is he just has to make a decent guard here. It doesn't have to be absolutely perfect and to kind of take that shot away again. The bad news for me, in my mind, is just the hammer situation. I don't know if we've got the hammer right on there. I might have that on wrong. Just 1 second.
Team Trenaman is trying to steal with Spindler having hammered this in. Yeah. Well, they worked that hard, but have left a hole. It's a little tricky though, Jim, I think.
Yeah, there's a hole there, but I don't think you can do much damage. Although you know what, you may Gail be able to go through there on the outturn and actually make the double on the reds. To be honest, tough shot, but I think it's there.
Yeah,
if you get through the hole, that's probably what you're gonna have to do. What's gonna happen anyways, because it's coming the right way with this way the stagger is. The hole, believe it or not, it's a little bit bigger going this way than it would be on the in-turn.
The hole.
Yeah, good effort. Left shot rock, but getting through the hole was big. You just kind of over curl a little bit. Probably needed to have a little more weight on it to make that really work.
So it's a really good steal scenario for Trenaman with two guards out front and some rocks at the back of the tee line. So just how do you get in there, or where do you put your rock in a good spot? So I'm Trenaman having a chat with the coach. I see a lot of hand movements, looking at which way to navigate through here.
I'll tell you what, I don't know if that's where they're going, but that's not easy to get to there.
Mm.
But you know what? If you have, I'm a little bit confused on the hammer situation here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, okay. So if you don't have hammer here, you could plug the hole, but I don't know if you really gain anything by plugging the hole. I think that's going to be really hard to get to now. So if you can ever make this, Gail, I think it'd be a great shot.
Team Spindler, yellow has hammer, I believe.
Yeah, I think I personally had it wrong on the scoreboard a minute ago. That's what I was kind of trying to figure out. You get it. It's got the weight. It's going to be perfect.
Yes, it's moving a lot.
It'll be a little light, I think, but you know what? Just a really nice shot, though, and just a couple more feet of weight, and he would have been sitting two, both kind of buried. So great effort. And the fourth Spindler pretty much has to run that guard, I think. It's one of those that you have to be. It's hard, but you have to be almost not too overly concerned about what happens in the back. I think you got to get this yellow going into the red, and hopefully you'll get both reds. But no matter what happens, you should be better off than you are right now, I think. I don't see any other options, Gail. What do you think?
I like that as well, and I think the plan B is that you eliminate the guard, and then you have with your next shot, you have a better chance at getting rid of the red from that
Yeah.
4 foot area. Okay.
Oops, the head came off the broom.
It's close to a nose hit, maybe just a little off nose.
Yeah, you're trying to hit it a little tiny bit on the low side, as we say. Is that what you're thinking?
Yes, the center
Yeah.
line side for sure.
On the left side as we look at it, yeah. Yeah, good opportunity, actually. It's a hard shot, but heck, if you ever can pull it off, you're going to be in really nice shape.
Plan B to pull the plug if it's not happening and clear it out.
Yeah.
Open it up.
Parker Spindler probably needs pretty decent weight on this. This is going to be really, really, really close.
Oh, close.
Watch this. This is
Oh.
beautiful. What a shot. That is a great shot. These guys are so casual. They don't maybe even realize how hard that shot was to make that perfect. Like, that was ridiculously difficult.
That was a really good shot.
Yeah. And not only that, ridiculously difficult and leaves him sitting three. Like, that's the big thing. Actually, you can even hear the opposition. When the opposition says, wow, that was amazing, then you know it was pretty darn good. And I have no idea where he's going with this. I think he's going through that port, I guess, on what would be his in turn. It's our out turn, or my out turn at least, and going through the port to the back one. And again, another shot that not very easy, but if you could ever get in there, you'd be in really good position. Oh, I don't know if he's got the weight.
Better.
Yeah. I don't think he's got enough to get there. Too bad. Really beautiful line, Gale, if he had just a little more weight on that.
Yeah.
So Parker Spindler all of a sudden goes from being in really, really, really big trouble to drawing for 4. How do you like that?
And that's curling, Jim.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I can guarantee you in your club curling, my club curling, I think that that's not going to probably happen to me all year. I'm going to be with one shot. I'm going to go from being in deep doo doo, if you will say, to drawing for 4. So
Yeah.
I'd like to think that's going to happen, but it's not going to happen very often. So a big extra point here, though. It's 3's nice, but 4's better, and get a pretty commanding lead if you can make this one.
This is in your sweeper's hands.
They're going to go to get this by, I think. The angle's not.
It's moving.
He's going to be fine. Now, has he got the right weight? A little warm, but I think he should be okay. So you're trying to get it out the back's not going to happen. So a big 4-ender for Parker Spindler here in end number 3 at the Canada Winter Games 4-player boys and girls playdowns. So we're at the Mayflower Curling Club. So Gail, amazing turnaround in that end.
That was a really great shot. Yeah, they're still talking about it on the ice as well.
I do love the sportsmanship part when they go over and tell the other team telling the other team how great a shot it was. That was pretty impressive, and it really was. Joking aside, it was wasn't lucky. It wasn't anything lucky about it. It was just a perfect throw and perfectly called.
So Team Trenaman will need to refocus. They certainly had a good end going up until that shot, so they just refocus back and lots of game left to play.
So it will be interesting to see the strategy here. I found yesterday that one team got out to a pretty good first half lead, and then the whole game turned around. Actually, it was like one team dominated the first half, the other team dominated the second half, but there wasn't any great change in strategy even with the lead. It just kind of still went flat out to score. So it'll be interesting to see what happens here. I mean, it is early. I mean, it's only the 4th end, an 8-end game. You got all kinds of time to score, and there's definitely going to be some rocks in play, but I'm pretty sure that we'd be thinking a little bit of defense at this point, and I don't know that these guys will be. So it'll be interesting to see how it goes. Corner guard, they just going to go over a little too far. Perfect weight, just overcurled a bit. It's hard to use that one. They might try. They might have to try later on, but for now. So Spindler have it coming right around. Quick rundown on the team. I haven't mentioned the teams too much here, but Spindler's team exists. This is Alexander Lance. It's the lead. Evan Griffiths is the second. Jude Brooks is the third. And Parker Spindler is the skip.
This is looking nice.
Should be good. A little deep.
Oh, very deep, yes.
Yeah, it went forever, didn't it? I thought it was going to be like back 4, back maybe 8 foot, but.
Here's an update on the boys' games. We have on sheet 1, Team Salzman. It's 2-1 over Team Berrigan. On sheet two, Team Lou and Ketty. Ketty scored two in the second end for a 2-0 lead over Lee. And on sheet four, O'Kel over Peoria, 3-2. Close one there.
Yeah.
That is after two ends.
That one a little heavy. Didn't really need to add any weight. There's not much room over there to curl behind that, to be honest. You'd like to go with the corner, but I think if you're going to go over there, you might as well throw another corner up first and then try to come around it, because that rock is just not very useful for you, and there's not much room to draw. When you go over there, the circle gets awfully small.
Mm-hmm. I was just noticing, Jim, the broom was way out in the 12 foot for this come around. That looks like a lot of curl. Were you seeing that much curl yesterday?
Yeah, it curled a lot yesterday. It was game I did, at least it seemed like it was curling like probably 5 to 6 feet, and it's probably about the same here, pretty close to that. Anyways, that was a very nice shot, a little tiny bit deep, but nice effort. Again, one that you didn't really have to sweep it that far, to be honest, to bury it and just leave it above the tee line by a little bit would have been just that much better. I think you got all kinds of room here too. I don't think you really have to. This is going to be very good. Right to it.
Very nice.
Yeah, nice, very nice throw. That's where, and good information for front ends too. Front ends, traditionally, your skip's going to call your line and sweeper's going to judge the weight. That's kind of the old school kind of way of thinking. But it's important when you get playing competitive curling, particularly, that everybody understands what the ice is doing and how it's working, because it's good that the sweepers know on that shot that they don't want that to over curl either. So, um, if you don't know and you're just waiting for somebody to call you on or off, that's just not good enough for the competitive level, at any competitive level, really. This one's going to go way to the back. So a nice opportunity now for Trenaman to work his way back in this a little bit. I don't think you need to tap it.
I agree. I think just to keep putting the red ones in there.
Yeah. So you guys just be a little patient on this. I think if he were to play the same shot they just played, would be a very nice spot. You don't really have to worry about him getting your red one out right now. So this can work as well. This is on the guard, I think.
Different paths, a different result, I think, than what they had just thrown.
My guess is that he probably was out into an area where we really haven't played yet. I'm not sure if we were out there in the second end, but they've been a little closer in draw weight than that. So that might have just been a case of finding some new turf over there. Same shot now for Team Spindler. Some surprises out there for some of these players. This one might be a little light too, but guys are going pretty hard on it. And he's light. So it didn't really go to school on the Trenaman shot, obviously. It's hard to do. So much for the game that takes so long to kind of get it figured out. So now we're going in turn. Yeah, sorry, Gail.
Switch back. I was going to say back to the other side. I think.
Yeah.
Good decision here.
Want to be number two here, but you don't want to be deep.
Buried.
Yeah, very nice shot. Spindler having a hard think on this one. That rock is just deep enough that he could come down to that. And even if he sits on it, he's going to be number two. And if he moves a little bit, that's okay.
I
So I'm
agree. I think sometimes you have to remember that a force of one is great strategy.
exactly, yeah. So peel attempt coming here. Got some weight on it. Lots of weight on it. Very nice to see. It's going to get both of those two. Going to probably leave the shooter. Nope. They all go, or almost all go.
Well, that looks a lot better for Team Spindler.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to do much better than that. I think it was going to be hard to get rid of everything. So that's a pretty good shot. What do you like here, Gail?
If I was red, I would still be putting everything in the house here.
Yeah, I would be coming right around that guard as well. He's calling 2-3, which would sort of indicate a guard, but um, sometimes you got to think a little bit about where it's going to go. But the problem with the guard here, when you have hammer, you throw up the guard and they come around it, and then all of a sudden you can't get it because your guard's in the way. Um, and with the guard that's out there, you have a pretty good situation to duck right around. They just threw that shot. So a good shot. If you're scoring that at home or something, you're going to score that 4-4 because that's the exact shot that the skip wanted. I just don't know if it was the best shot, but it does cause some problems for Team Spindler here. He's only got two rocks to come. Can't really afford to go run out there and peel again. So what do you do? That's the big question.
I think, yeah, with the amount of curl we're seeing on this side, I think he could become second shot around this way. And the other option would be try to get second shot through the hole.
Yeah.
Either of those I like, whichever side he's feeling comfortable with.
Yeah, I'm with you on that option going through the hole as well. The only thing that scares me about it is both teams have played one drawdown. So just to try to figure out what that weight is there would be tough. But man, it's not pretty right now for Team Spindler for a 5-1 lead. It's
What do you think of the run back? That's looking like what they're. Again, with these run backs, plan B is always to get it opened up.
Yeah.
If the run backs.
Well, yeah. I tell you one thing, in today's game, and as these guys get a little bit older, these are shots you have to be able to make way more often than we ever dreamt you could make back in the day. But so from that point of view, this is not a bad shot. I look at it and think I'm going through the hole probably to try to get number two in there somewhere. This just looks a little tough to me, but maybe I just can't throw it hard enough anymore for that. It's probably the bigger part of the problem. So now turn run back here for Parker Spindler. Made one harder than this a few minutes ago, and this is close, but not going to be quite good enough. That's a good effort. That only has to go up another probably half an inch, centimeter or two, and you make that. So. Problem here for Trenaman that I feel is that a minute ago you were in a position where you could be looking at getting 3 or 4 without doing anything special, really just making a draw. And now you're going to plug this hole again, which you probably need to do, but you're going to have a hard time getting the third point here, which is, 3's tough, but you had a really good situation to maybe generate that 3. So,
yeah.
good discussion back there, just talking about ice and how much they might be able to make it curl and all of that sort of thing. So Maxwell Trenaman now with his first here in the fourth end. Sweeper's indicating it's probably a little heavy. Might get lucky. Might get a little lucky here with the guard. Might be able to move it over. Can't quite see it. Well, you know what? Whoa.
Also created a large opening now for Spindler.
Yeah, not a good result at all for Team Trenaman, to be honest. It's one of those you throw it and you realize the other team, it was much harder before you threw it. Sometimes it's like, if I didn't throw that, we were in good shape. Well, he wasn't really in good shape because there was a hole there for sure, a pretty good hole, but that just got a little unlucky to be a hair heavy. Even if he's just a little lighter, he ends up getting the guard anyways, but
Parker can actually get shot rock in a really good position, whereas before that shot, he was at best, Jim, just getting number 2 rock in there.
Yep. So the intern hit. Sweeper's looking already at trying to make it curl. You can see the switch sides. He's going to get the 1. Probably going to roll out. No, maybe not. No. Good sweeping job. Didn't quite work out perfect for him, but not bad. I mean, he's got shot rock. You know, Trenaman's got to make a good shot here to score 2. And it's a bit of a risky shot for him as well. If he ever gets it a little tiny bit outside, he could jam it on the red. But a good opportunity to get your deuce. At the start of the end, you probably would have been okay with getting 2. That's always a tricky debate, Gail, when to say, okay, well, I've got a couple in there. How aggressive do I go here? And they opted to throw the guard, go with guards. And, you know, it's hard to know. Is this the right chance to go zip another one around and maybe get a 3-ender or a 4-ender or something? Hard to know.
I agree. As we said at the beginning, there's lots of game left, so a 2 is good here.
Yeah, this one's got to curl a ton. It's coming, though. It breaks so much there. Very nicely done. Will it stay around to be number 2? And it will. So a very nice shot by Maxwell Trenaman here to get his 2 in the fourth end. And we got a 5-3 game now. Gail, that sounds a lot better than 5-1.
Good shot, yes. Here's the girls' games updates. Sheet 5. Team Cochran playing Team McAvoy. And Team McAvoy picked up 3 in the third to make that score 4-1 for Team McAvoy. Team Wilsey playing Team Gates. And the Team Wilsey with a commanding lead 9-0 after 3 ends. Team Heb and Team Pembleton on sheet 8. Team Pembleton picked up a 4 in the second end. Team Heb took a single point in the third end, so that makes that score 4-3 for Team Pembleton.
Yeah, I haven't looked at the girls' side at all. I didn't even know who's leading that or not. Less teams over there. I think it's 6 teams over there on the girls' side, and same draw times as we have here, and we basically have 1 game covered on each side of the draw.
So we have 8 teams on the boys' side and 6 teams on the girl, both playing round robins. So the boys actually started on Thursday afternoon. The girls started yesterday afternoon, Friday afternoon. So the boys have a few more games to put in, a couple more games than the girls' side.
Yeah. Yeah, it's draw number 4 for the boys, but it's not draw number 4 for the girls. But we're just going to call it by what actual draw it is. So this is draw 4 no matter what. So
yeah, exactly.
So Gail's strategy for the second half now, particularly for the team that's trailing here for Trenaman, down 2 without Hammer playing 5. What's kind of the game plan for them at this point, do you think?
They are in steal mode, as we call it. So they need some junk out front to and create some guards, some things to hide behind, and try to steal a couple of ends.
Yeah, I think it's kind of like there's a point in games where you throw caution to the wind and just go hard. And I don't think we're not quite there, but we're really close. It's
Hmm.
like, you can make do with a force here if you can force the other team to one. But I'm with you. I think it's we throw up some guards early and take some chances in the first half to see if we can generate a steal, and then hopefully we can turn that into no worse than a force and force of one. So
Hmm.
yeah, teams always get a little break here halfway through. They sometimes it's 4 or 5 minutes, depending on what competition is. I'm not sure what they're doing here, but um, either way, it's a little refreshment break and a little snack, and we're good to go. So I'm going to go update the score sheet. All right.
The other sheet on their fourth end break is on ice 4. Team O'Cal playing Team Puree, and Team O'Cal is up 6-1 in that game, and they are on their break. And the other two sheets haven't updated yet, so as soon as they get on their break, I will give you those two scores as well.
Hmm. Really close games this morning on the boys' side. The girls are one game real close. One, the rest of them are getting a little bit lopsided, but yeah. So, Gail, I think these games are timed. I don't know where the clocks are. I saw yesterday it looked like everybody was getting a little nervous and looking up to where their clocks might be. They might be upstairs or something, and we don't see those, but that's okay. Games seem to move along, as I said earlier, pretty good, anyways. But I do think they are playing with clocks, which again for these guys might be a little bit new experience for some of them.
Yeah, the clocks, I do believe, are positioned upstairs. When we had the U20s, that's where they were located, and they are a little hard to see, especially at the farther end. They weren't really good visibility wise, but a lot of teams they assign a player to be keep an eye on the clocks, and I'm sure they're aware of what they're where they're at on their clock and what's left for the
Yeah,
game, and have a good conversation about their pace of play, if it's good, if it's not a concern, or if it is. They'll have to watch any lengthy conversations or delays.
yeah, for sure. But I must say these teams don't seem to be bothered by the clocks at all, and they also don't seem to be bothered by wearing mics, which I thought might be a little bit more of an issue for them. It's not something you do very often, and um, it can be a little intimidating wearing them. But they don't seem to even notice them at all, so that's good.
And it's great hearing their conversations. Is a great thing. We're enjoying their commentary. It's been a good addition to this podcast.
So as Gail mentioned, up goes the guard call here for Team Trenaman. 1-2. The one would be close to the hog line. The two would be about in the middle between the hog line and the house. And when you hear 3, that means also not in the house, but a little tighter to the house than that. So they were right with their 2-3 call here. It's kind of in between those two zones. It just overcurled a little bit for them.
And ideally, those center guards, you'd like to land them on that center line. And that brings in the newer no tick rule. But I see Team Spindler not even attempting a tick, actually going to go right over to the corner pocket.
Yep.
No tick rule has brought a new skill in where you practice actually trying to get those guards on the center line.
sure. Good throw there. I think he was looking for that in the house, but that's a very nice corner guard. Griffiths went wall to wall on that right from the time he let it go till it stopped to get it to where it is. It's actually in a pretty good spot. Parker was looking in the house because he has a 5-3 lead, and he knows the other team probably can't afford to chase you. So it's not a bad place to be in the house, but it's not a bad place to be right there either. So works out okay. Everybody seems to be really close on draw weight. Just everything goes a little bit deep, but not that one. That's perfect.
Very nice.
So Gale, 2 options, I guess. Probably draw behind the corner or draw to the one they just threw.
Mm-hmm.
Parker's going to go around the corner. Seen a lot of teams that would go around the other one, and a lot of teams that would go this way. Nothing wrong with this call at all.
No.
You're probably going to peel the guard on the next shot, so.
Eventually you'll have to deal with this center.
Yeah. This one's curling really hard. Probably a little too hard to get by. Probably just need a little tiny bit more weight just so it would carry a little longer and before it really started to curl, but
everything out front there, the center line would be good. The air would be to be light, not heavy. It's not a bad thing.
We're looking for top 8 here. It looks like he's going to be in that neighborhood. That's very good.
Very good.
So good call here for Parker Spindler too. He's going to peel the guard, throw peel weight. Not really trying to get anything in the house, but he would take it if he were to end up hitting one of them. Probably, well, obviously going to hit the top one, can't hit the back one, but plan A here is to get rid of the guard. And hopefully not be right in the middle. There you go. Just not quite enough weight to really make the run double. Those shots are difficult. You've got to really be able to throw it down there pretty solid. So good situation right now for Trenaman. Got to get it over at least. Well, the pleas worked, and they did get it over, so not bad. It would have been nice. They were looking to go top 8, which obviously would have been put that extra pressure back on Spindler, but that's not a bad spot, I don't think.
Here's your updates for the other boys' games. Sheet 1. Salzman playing Bergen. After 4 ends, Salzman is up 3-2. Close one there. And on sheet 2, Team Lee and Team Ketty are tied 4-all at the 4-end break. And I think I'd already reported on sheet 4, but again, that was Okel and Fury with Okel 6-1 after 4.
Very good. So get rid of a guard, but left another guard. This is, for Team Trenaman coming off the break, trailing by 2 without Hammer here in the 5th. He couldn't have drawn this one up too much better than it is right now. See if they can turn that into a point or two here.
Very much needs a break here. Needs to stop in a hurry.
Yeah.
Just in time, maybe?
Yeah, I think it's not bad. It's That's where you had the skip hollering the sweeper off there, and it's sweeper's thinking it's still light, so he's got to go. So it's kind of almost went too far. Parker's going to maybe play another peel here.
It's definitely the balance between the line and the weight. The line is definitely more important than how deep that girl was.
It's possible here if you could ever hit this. I think, Gail, if you could hit this on the outside half, drive it on the yellow. I don't know where it goes on the other house here by the time it's all done.
Yeah.
Whoa, lots of weight here. Ooh, it's got a curl.
Run back.
Yeah. It's a little bit of bad luck there. So Trenaman definitely in good shape here. They can really suck this one around that guard and get into the top of the 12-foot and make sure you kind of protect your shot rock a little bit by doing that, and yet add another potential point on the scoreboard. So Finnegan Daly now.
And again, they have to watch the line being more important here than how deep.
Yeah. Not going to hurt this one. You can take this one to the house.
Good position.
Yeah, it's very good.
So I'll just remind everyone that while I am updating the scores, all the games are being live streamed on Mayflower Curling Club's YouTube channel. So you can pick up those games. If there's one that you're really interested in, you can pick up any of the games through that YouTube channel.
Very good. I don't know if I knew that 100% myself. Outturn possible run here. It's going to be really close to getting that one. No, not quite. Bit of bad luck there for Jude, because that looked like he was going to get something better than that out of that.
What do you think, Jim? Do they go a little more aggressive with putting this in, or just happy with the guard?
Yeah. I think you're happy with the guard. This is if you have the ability to throw this and say, okay, well, I'm going to come right around, but I'm not going to be heavy, and that works in this situation. That doesn't always work, but I think it works here. But I'd actually be coming right around and right on top of my other one. I think it's well protected, and you just got to get curl, and that doesn't seem to be a problem here. The only thing bad here is you leave it hanging out and he makes a double off it, but sweeper's on this early. I don't think he's going to get there. Little rubs works out pretty good for him.
Yeah.
That'll do the trick.
Move that yellow a little, but I don't think there was a run back with it anyway. But definitely is not a run back there now. So now Spindler is looking at other yellow options at front.
Yeah. You've got to really hope you at least get one of these, and they're two very different shots, obviously. But if you can make this, you're going to probably score, because I don't know how Maxwell's going to get it out at all. Parker Spindler. It's a good line to get the outside one. He will. It's not bad, really, Gail. I think it's you got to try to make sure you don't give up a big score here. And
yeah, that was a good outcome, and not easy to get a second rock here this side.
Yeah, I think that's definitely the plan here. I don't think you want this one to be just another guard. I mean, another guard doesn't hurt you, but it doesn't help either. I think you have a really good opportunity here to maybe make Parker make something really, really good to just not even give up two. Oh, little tumble, but he's recovered. I want to get this by this rock. Not going to. Guess it was not going to get by for sure.
The weight looked pretty good.
Yeah, weight wasn't too bad. Could have just must have been a little tighter, maybe not enough ice. I'm not sure, but either way, he's in pretty good position to score here. But we've seen Parker make a couple of these run backs now, and pretty comfortable with them. So I think he's probably going to try to angle that one in, and it's for two if you make it. So.
Could tap for one, just straight tap to the button for 1 point, or angle and get two. I mean, the two would be great. One is good too.
Yeah, toughest part about this shot is trying to decide are you trying to make it for two or make it for one. That might not be the toughest part of this shot. Just making it at all is pretty tough, but it is two different shots, so you just got to make sure you know what you're playing. I don't know. I'm not even exactly sure what he is. What do you think, Gail? What's he going to play here? Is he tapping the yellow?
I think it's a tap, but it's looking at how much it's been curling. I'm not sure if that's going to be enough.
Yeah, you would expect that with the weight he's got to throw for the tap, this is probably going to curl too much. I think, anyway, but we'll see. He could go right through the hole, but that would be, wow, a heck of a hard shot.
Yeah.
Well, definitely not playing that tap because I think they got to be sweeping it.
It must have been the hole that called
Trying
the
to
hole.
draw through that hole. Wow, look at this. Look at this. Holy cow, what a shot. That is amazing.
Wow.
Wow, I'll tell you what, if there's an all-star award for this game, it's going to go to Parker Spindler. Holy cow, made that look so easy. The hole is about 2 inches bigger than the rock. Anyway, great shot by Parker Spindler, and they will pick up one. So job well done for them on that shot, and job well done really for Trenaman to force him to one there, even though he for a little while looked like he might be able to score. But Trenaman will now be trailed by 3, but does have hammer back when we go to the 6th end.
That was a great shot. It almost looked like it might have feathered the guard a tiny bit, straightened out, but it didn't affect the end result.
Yeah, it was the most casual draw through a really small port I think I've ever seen. Nobody was really doing any. It didn't even took us a while to figure out for sure what he was playing. And then we go down there and nobody really sweeping much, nobody doing too much. A couple little brush strokes here and there, and ended up putting it basically pin high for wow, great shot. Just a really, really good shot. Poor Trenaman team's probably trying to figure out how do we manage to score here? Like a couple of hands ago, we gave up 4 when it looked like we were going to score. Yes. Now it looked like for sure we got at least 1 point in this end, and now we give up another point. Parker with a couple of 5 out of 4 shots if you were scoring. Anyway,
Parker's definitely feeling the end part of the game, calling the rock in the house, and gonna go a little cleaner this end, or try to.
Yeah. So we're back for end 6. That was an exciting end.
You see that in the house? Very good. That curl is amazing. Team Trenaman's pulling their corner guard. Jim, going to look for hitting a goose or more here?
Yeah, I think this will curl a mile, so it'll be okay. It'll get over there, but I think he kind of helps that a little bit. That was a couple of ends ago. You remember the corner guard they were trying to throw that curled like way over to the almost off the sheet, and they definitely have enough ice for this. So I think whatever he's doing, he's got to be just helping it over there a little bit on the release, and by that I just mean turning it in or sliding a little bit offline or whatever. But I don't think it curls 8 feet. So
Mhm.
um, they're making it look like it curls 8 feet. So Spindler now going to throw up a tight guarded most, I would think. Might be going right in with this actually.
Lead Alex Lance looking like he's got a good control of his draw weight. This looks good. Very nice. 2 rocks.
I don't think the double's real helpful here.
Yeah.
I know you feel like you need to play it, but I'd probably rather see him go around the corner than to play the double. To be honest, I think he's got to get rocks somewhere else, or draw down to these, tap it a little bit, and leave them right there would be not bad either. Gonna go hard to hold it for a single. Be better if he gets.
Roll. Oh.
Yeah, almost worked out where he got the hit and the roll.
I agree, Jim. You said the word patience earlier, and that's it is hard. And when you're looking for points, you do have to sometimes ignore those opposition rocks for a little bit and try to get some things set up, and then
Yeah.
deal
So
with them.
Spinner now going around the corner, trying to take that corner away from Trenaman, really. Got to be careful here. He could play himself into an end, much like the last end, where there was way more rocks around than he would have liked. This is a good shot. That's a 6-foot roll, so tough shot.
Mm.
See that turn hit, trying to roll across behind those corners. If you get over there, you're probably going to be at the back of the 12-foot, but down 6-3, you have to have something.
Oh, it was tough.
Yeah, I made the hit and stay. The roll was going to take a lot to make that roll, so that's not a bad spot. If you're not going to roll all the way, but might be just as well off to roll this way, to be honest. And then you might get a chance to go around that corner in a minute.
Parker would definitely like to keep his second shot in the house.
Evan Griffiths with the hit and stick. It's a little longer roll now, but it is a little higher at least. So if you roll over there now, you're probably going to be in the 8-foot, somewhere around the 8-foot. Going to be right on the nose. Good sweep, good shot. Probably not. If you're going to make that roll, you probably got to throw a lot more weight than you really should be throwing, I think, at this point anyways. So that would be tough.
Yeah, the less weight, the more. The less weight, the less rock you need to make contact with to get that roll.
Well, both teams have this shot pegged pretty good. Piece of cake, these shots. Have been about 5 takeouts in a row that made perfect. tough to do this, but I think at some point here, and it might have been right now, you had to decide to ignore this hit and roll and try to just draw around that corner. I think you could get around the corner and be shot rock.
The draw being should be easier than this roll. This is not been working out so far for Trenaman, but
Yeah.
I'm going to get some kind of roll here.
Yeah, it's going to be in the neighborhood. Just not going to have enough weight to get over there.
Yeah. Shorten the distance, though, Jim. So
Yeah.
if Spindler hits this one on the nose, his roll is a lot shorter, but I agree the draw earlier would have gotten them into a position of having shot rock buried.
Well, I think Maxwell's just kind of hoping to maybe get a roll out here somewhere that would allow him to come around that corner. Might have that here. I don't know if this is going to come up enough or not. It's going to be, yeah, probably going to be close. No, it's going to come all the way over right on the nose, or more or less on the nose. Well, now the roll's getting a little more realistic, at least.
I still like the soft weight, but I'm with you, Jim. I think that you need a little more weight. You have a long way to travel still.
Yeah, two things you could do here to make that roll. That would be to throw a little harder, and the second would be to throw the other turn, because I think you're going to get a little better action off the in turn. You're going to get a little. It's not going to be quite as flat, and it's going to come off with a little bit more speed, I think, than this out turn. I don't know if he's going to get over there.
Good try on the sweep. So I think Parker needs to be careful he doesn't set up anything that Team Trenaman can use to get behind or freeze to. So in the house for sure, just need to be.
Yeah, this is an interesting call here. It's kind of it seems to me that it's I don't know. I don't know where I really want to put this rock. I don't have a hammer. I have a 3-point lead. You don't want to put this on the 4-foot on the other side and give him the much shorter roll behind the corner. So it's going to be interesting to see where he ends up here. Kind of just trying to even these up, I think, is the plan.
Top 8, top 12, top 8 would be good.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Yeah.
So now if Trenaman does get his roll, that rock can be used to run
Yeah,
back.
I think he's pretty well has to play that same hit roll he's been playing the whole end. Really, I think at this point, Gail, it's I don't know. You don't want to be drawn right now because it's just a little too scary, I think. But they're talking about not talking much, but they're talking. I don't think you want to.
You could draw into the 4-foot, I suppose, but there's just so many yellow options there for run backs and tap backs.
Yeah. What I like about hitting the other one, the one that they were kind of playing the whole hand, what I like about that is you have a chance to roll behind either guard. Now, mind you, it would be a short run back if you roll behind that one on the top of the A there, but and then if it rolls a little too far, you go around the corner anywhere. Playing this one, you're not going to have shot rock for sure, and the roll's no harder than it, or no easier than the other one. So I just I don't know. I don't know if I really like this shot. Now, I wouldn't mind the shot earlier in the end. I just don't know when you got 2 rocks to come that this really does it for you. But
this call, you're you need a miss from
Yeah,
Spindler on the next
exactly. Yeah, yeah. Miss on what probably would be a relatively easy shot. So,
one. Hmm.
but this one's going to over curl. Don't know if he's going to get a piece of that one, but will it be enough?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, gotta go. Gotta go to get it out. It will, yeah, I'm not sure, but it may be in, it may be out, but that's either way, it's going to be not too much of a factor, I don't think here. So Spindler probably the same shot, I guess, eh, Gail? Looks
Yeah, I
like.
was just thinking, and that top eight position is good. You want to think about cutting off the draw, but also not deep enough that it's an easy nose hit for a point.
Yeah, I think if I'm playing this shot, I'm going to try to basically even it up with the yellow rock on the end there in Montana's, so that no matter which rock he plays, if he decides to hit, he's going to have to roll.
Hmm.
That'd be my only thought. If you really wanted him to draw, you could throw a tight guard on the one that you have in the house and the 8 foot and say, okay, now you go ahead and draw because you don't have a choice. That
Hmm.
would work as well. I don't know which is better. I guess just a matter of personal choice. It's these ones that you have to put in exactly the right distance are tough. But
Watching them throw so many hits, he may feel very comfortable with forcing another hit.
yeah,
Oh, that's short.
yeah. Making the assumption that he's just going to hit, not draw. Good draw, but
I
I guess
think
he's going
after
to
the
draw.
six hits, you'd throw one more.
One thing that I've learned in 2 games of doing this, I have no idea what they're gonna play sometimes. It's just kinda I think I have a feel for what somebody's gonna play, and then it's like, "Nope, not gonna play that." It's like the last end when Parker decided to draw, I thought, "Well, he's not gonna draw through there." Well, no, he is. Anyway,
I'll take a chance, Jim. I'm going to say this is a draw.
yeah. Well, you got it right. It's definitely gonna be a draw.
Oh, no, we're
Oh,
changing.
a change.
I think this is a good change. This is a shot he's been playing. He should know this ice well.
Yeah, I would agree. It might be a shot that I would throw a draw on, but at the same time, when you just play this shot basically 5 or 6 times in this end, and you don't need the roll right now. You just got to get to the nose. And it looks like you will. Very nicely done. Very good throw
Anyways,
by Maxwell Trenaman. And he will go to end number 7, still trailing. And now he trails by 2 without hammer and 7. So it'll be a challenge, but it's a possibility.
yes, I think that the draw was the call there. You had to get it there to avoid giving up 2 or 1. So the hit, even if you'd have rolled out, I think that would have been the better option. Better chance of them not getting 2 there. Good call and good throw.
Well, there's no shortage of rocks in play, so that's what you need here. And there doesn't seem to be, unless you put it in the house, there doesn't seem to be any real chance that they're going to peel everything on you. So I think you're in the game. 6-4. Go with the center guard.
If you confirm one game has wrapped up on sheet 6 on the girls' side, that would be Team Wilsey over Team Gates 11-0.
Yeah, that's tough. When we used to play a little bit more competitive at games like that on Saturday morning, we would have figured we should have just stayed back at the hotel and had breakfast instead of bothering going to the Curling Club.
Well, and hopefully, even though the score is big, they learn the ice or, maybe gain some knowledge that will carry them through to the next game.
Very nice center guard here. Going up for Ethan. Ethan Stanzel, lead for Trenaman. Remember, he can't move that rock. That's biting in the center line, so they have to miss it. And they will. Again, I'm not 100% sure on that shot. Same thing last end. I'm not sure if he's trying to get that in the rings or trying to throw that on the corner, but I would think with a 6-4 lead and Hammer playing 7 that you're going to want that to be in the house.
Mm-hmm.
Not really a lot of benefit to a corner here. You just got to make sure you score, basically.
So just a reminder to the folks as well, this is the Canada Winter Games provincial playdowns. There will be 2 representatives, one boys team and one girls team that will represent Nova Scotia at the Canada Winter Games being held February 27th to March 14th, 2027. So a whole year away in Quebec City. So the winners that will be declared on Monday in our final game will have that opportunity to go beautiful Quebec City. And the Canada Winter Games being a unique opportunity for junior curlers. It only comes around once every 4 years. It's like the Olympics, really, Jim.
Have you ever been to one of those, Gail, at any level, playing or coaching or anything like that?
No, I haven't. I wish I had gone the last round. It was just in PEI, and I was just getting into coaching at that time. But I wish I had gone over. How about yourself?
Yeah, well, way, way, way back, like in 1991, and it wasn't PEI actually, coaching the Peter Burgess rink. Um, Amazing event. I just never really quite. I'd never been involved, never really gone. I think for the athletes, for the curlers, it truly is remarkable. You're part of that whole big team. It's like our own little mini junior Olympics kind of stuff of sports because there's all kinds of stuff going on. And for the winter, it's I think it's a special treat. It's different. Yeah, the Canadian juniors probably something that's a little bit more on the radar of some of these players than the Canada Games, but it's you're part of such a big group in different sports. It's really, really, truly neat. And we went to the um, one of the ceremonies. I can't remember now if we're opening or close. I think we're the opening ceremony. So you're only there usually. They keep you there for a week, and you attend either the opening or the closing. But either one of them are just phenomenal. Like it's a great experience. So one of these teams on the boys' side, and one of these teams on the girls' side are going to have a great week in Quebec City, and not only that, a great city. It's the history of Quebec City is really cool and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, just amazing opportunity for the winners of these two championships.
We're getting to be having a little bit of a messy front here for Team Spindler. I'm sure they would rather see this a little more cleaner, but
Yeah,
Team
very messy.
Trenaman needs points is probably liking all of the rocks and possible options here to get some rocks in play under cover.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, way more rocks. It's like somebody just stretched the sheet or something by a few feet because everything's short. But um, yeah, it's a much better situation for a Trenaman here than it is for Spindler at the moment, for sure. His saving grace might be that yellow one that just came up short. It's a good spot for Spindler, but this is a tough draw. Going around, going right through that port. You're not going to get by that. It's going to be short, I think, again.
Oh, yeah, I always remind teams when you start seeing a lot of rocks coming short, uh, check
Yeah, it's
yourself.
interesting. Sometimes we know the ice will get a little tighter towards the end of the game, but it's usually only in the middle of the sheet, and this is not the case here. And I'm not so sure that really happens. It didn't happen in last night's game for sure. Yesterday afternoon, I guess it was, um, but sometimes it does. And as teams leave, as some of the games end, occasionally we see that occasionally in curling clubs where the ice will get a little tiny bit tighter. Um, Not saying that's the case, but it's just sort of maybe. So Spindler going to get rid of something here. It's not going to be what he wants for sure. He's going to put one of the. He almost didn't quite put it in the rings, but I thought he was going to drive that in and have that be in the rings. So just a terrific situation now, I think, Gail, for Trenaman. He's got everything he could ask for here, and guarding the button and everything else. So take advantage is the question.
And Jim, just to carry on with the thought that there's games wrapping up, on sheet 4, which is next to this sheet, Ocala has won that game 11-1 over Peoria.
Yeah.
And I think we have another girls' game, McAvoy over Team Cochrane 8-1. So games are finishing up a little early.
If this got the right speed, it's going to be good. If it sneaks by, won't quite, but get it on. Might as well get every inch out of it. That worked out pretty good.
That was pretty good. Spindler getting a chance to exercise their run back skills again.
Yeah, absolutely. Even if he makes this so for Trenaman, really, it's unless he makes some rules behind the guard buried, it's not a bad situation still for Trenaman. He's still got that same shot they just played. This one's going to curl too much, I think. Might take that center guard away, though. He did. Whoop. All kinds of weird stuff happening here. Yellow almost got shot rock out of that somehow. Not quite sure how. I'm not sure what. We need a replay button or something, I think, because I don't know how that one got there, but it did. But still, not bad. Not bad situation. We just hit this in the nose and leave it right there wouldn't be bad. Roll behind the corner might be helpful, but really you're not trying to play around corners right now without hammer. So Finnegan Daly now. Love that name. Not going to love this shot, though, Finnegan, I don't think. It's not going to be... Just not really any weight on it to speak of. Might bump his own up a little bit more.
That's an interesting outcome. Still keeping his other rock in play, way over in the corner now.
Yep. Still got the guard to work with.
I think the unfortunate thing is that he pushed Spindler's rock over almost under cover.
Yeah. Just need a little more weight on that one, Gail. It was just kind of just way too light for that shot. Griffith's a good sweeper. I like his sweeping technique and ability for Griffiths. Did a good job on that one. So it's going to be yellow, shot rock, and maybe number 2. Normally, I'd suggest you got to draw around that center one somehow, but that's not going to be that easy with the way the guards are positioned. That high yellow red rock might be in your way, believe it or not. So this is a kind of it looks like a freeze attempt on the outside yellow, the out yellow that's in the E-foot on the right-hand side of the sheet as we look at it in the long view. Yeah, it's
not getting you a great shot rock because you're not even in the 4-foot, and you're leaving. I guess Spindler still has that very good rock at the top of the 8 that they can promote. Yeah. In tough position for Team Trenaman right now. But a good freeze here will put some pressure on Spindler.
Yeah, got to make sure you get the line right here, and you don't want to bounce off it. But you got to get there. I guess that's the first plan.
It's looking close, but maybe overcurl.
Going to come up light.
Little light.
Just need a couple more feet of weight. Line was really good. Ice was good, I think. They just needed a couple extra feet.
So Spindler sitting 1 and 2, and Trenaman is number 3 and 4. Looks like Spindler tapped up front for a guard.
So another reminder that our next broadcast is at 3 o'clock this afternoon. And if I remember right, looking at the draw, I think, Gail, you're on, but maybe on the women's side this afternoon. Is that possible, or back with the boys this afternoon?
Oh, yes.
No, I think you're with the boys this afternoon. Maybe it's tomorrow you're with the women. I looked at it earlier, but...
I'm actually back on the boys' side this afternoon.
I'm done for the day.
On this sheet again, sheet 3. Right now
Just plugging the hole, I think, here.
we have Mary Maritol and Mary Sue Radford, I believe, are commentating on sheet 6, and Mary's going to continue on and also be on the girls' side commentating this afternoon as well.
I lost volume for a minute. My fault. A little chip off of that would be probably helpful. Does take the out turn draw away.
Timeout is called.
Ooh.
So the good thing, I guess, of doing that slide again is you've just done it, so you've got a bit of a read on some ice.
Yeah.
Looks like
Do you like this call?
I don't. I just don't see how you get shot rock out of this.
Well, they're playing the thin double.
Oh, I see.
I don't
Tough
love this. I don't love this shot. I think I like the shot that they just played as well. Just go right around there and corner freeze on that yellow, and that would be a pretty good position. It'd be really difficult for Spindler, for Parker to do anything with it.
I think that's the only draw you have, because to try to draw the other way is not possible, I don't think.
Yeah, this is just really, really hard. I think it's just, well, let's see. Maybe he'll make it. Gonna hit way too thick. May not even get by the top one.
Well, that almost ticked the guard and then ticked the one in the house, which might have gotten him the double.
Well, you know what? It's kind of interesting because I think it's I think it's one of those shots that I always figure at this time of year. I said this yesterday. I don't mean to disrespect anybody, but this is kind of like a TV influence shot. Sometimes it's like everybody sees everybody playing these on TV and think, "Oh, well, let's go for that." And it's like it's just really hard. So I think sometimes it's like, let's play the one that we think we can make the easiest and the best. And I think I really believe that would have been the in-turn draw there. But regardless, a good effort. And you know what? They're going to have to make those shots as they get up in the ranks and get a little older and all that. So give it a shot now, I guess. Spindler with the draw for 3. I'm pretty sure it's 3.
Yeah, I think well,
This
it
one's
is close, but I do think it is 3.
this is
They are working that hard.
yeah, this is going to be light as well, but he's still going to pick up a couple. So Parker Spindler will grab 2 here in the 7th end. They give him an 8-4 lead, and we'll see if they're going to continue or if they're going to call it a game. They're first trying to decide, I guess, on second shot, which and they have agreed on that. So I'm pretty sure that was 2. So down 4 playing the last end. Gail, what's your strategy for that situation?
Wow.
Yeah.
You have here. So 2 corners. 2 corner guards.
You know what's funny, I think, is that occasionally you will see, rarely, but occasionally you will see, especially before you get to Scotty's tankard level and stuff like that, you'll see the odd game when some team is down 3 playing the last end, and they'll end up picking up 4. But 4 is just really, really hard. You need so many misses. You need to make 8 perfect shots, and you got to get 4 perfect misses, if there's such a thing as a perfect miss. So really, really tough, but I expect they'll keep going and play this end anyways. What the heck? You're there. You're young. You're only going to play once more today, and lots of time for lunch before that. So,
No. And there's been lots of big scoring ends in this whole tournament. So possible, yes, for sure. And, if not, you're still out on the ice and you're still, learning from the ice and growing on your skills and developing those skills. So all good.
And nobody seems to be unhappy out there. They all seem to be still having a good time. Still, everybody's very positive, and doesn't matter what happens. So all of that's good. And if Nicholas Adine can give up 2 4s in one game in 6 ends, then you got to believe that you could possibly get 4 here. So first one's a throw through, though, for Team Spindler. With a 4-point lead, they know they don't need anything else in play. And anything in play is going to be a problem for them. So, um, so they're gonna throw probably the first two through, unless they put this one in the house, and they'll have to hit it, I guess. But
And Jim,
this
are you commentating any other games?
not till tomorrow, till the boys final tomorrow, and that's the only other one I'm doing. Or not tomorrow, on Monday.
On Monday, and I'll be on
Yeah,
the girls' final on Monday, so
yeah,
that'll be exciting to watch those games and shot by shot.
yeah. I'll probably do. I'll probably watch this afternoon's game too, and um, tomorrow we're going to a friend's house for dinner and all that stuff. So, and not only that, I actually have a real job that I should do some work on too. So, um,
Well, this being Easter weekend, I'm sure the kids would rather do nothing but curl. They're all probably doing this because they love the game,
yeah,
and some of these teams, Jim, I can tell you, have been together a long time. Teams change, of course. Some of them are very new. The ones I know, I don't know all of the kids, but I know several, especially on the girls' side, and some of them have been working very hard. This has been their dream, and like I said, there's no other place they'd rather be this weekend.
yeah. And I think here in this event, at least, I was talking to one of the girls' coaches. I don't even know which team now, but yeah, talked to Intro the other day, and we were chatting a little bit, and they were saying that their team is actually the team they had together for this is not a team that played together on a regular basis. So you do have teams like that. You have teams that have played together as a team in everything, and you have some other teams that are it doesn't work for them. Perhaps there's an age situation or something where one or two players have aged out. Sometimes they just don't want to play that much, and etc. So for whatever reason, you will have teams that are just put together for Canada Games really, and you'll have teams that are going to play together for years. Got a miss here though coming for Griffiths, which he doesn't miss too many of those takeouts. Little light on that. I think it's no point in being light in that last end. It's funny, when you talk about you call weights, and some teams will call numbers. We'll hear numbers like 9.5, 10, 10.5, whatever. Don't hear that as much here so far. I haven't in my two games, but other teams would just go with pack, board, normal, whatever. But I always figure that there's sort of 2 degrees of normal, if you will, because when I say normal with my teams in this situation, I I really mean don't be light. You know what I mean? Like it's
Oh, yeah.
like I'm okay if you throw it a little hard. We don't really care about staying, but don't normal is really normal plus or something like that. I
Yes.
don't. Yeah. So it's that was what that one was for Griffith. For Evan, it was sort of like a throw normal, but don't be light on it. Good news is you have a 4-point lead, so missing one's not the end of the world. Nice corner guard up. And you might think, why would he throw a corner guard when he's down 4? He needs more rocks in the house. But yeah, but you're almost always, to have any real chance at all, you're probably going to need at least one guard out there, maybe 2 guards out there. So you might as well get him out there now. So Evan Griffiths now with the out turn hit. Still like the way Evan throws. You got a nice slide there. Sweeper's not doing much with this. He's going to get one or the other. He might end up being the back one, or maybe neither.
Whoa.
Oh, didn't see that coming. I thought that looked pretty good from my angle as I leaned to the left trying to see on the laptop, which I never understood why I do that, but I do. So coming around the corner.
And just a reminder, I guess, also that that 3 o'clock game this afternoon, you still have time to get to the Mayflower Curling Club to pick up that game in person. There's food service at the club, and I hear the bar is open for adults if you like to sit and enjoy a beverage and watch the kids play.
Yeah, I think they have a full-time restaurant too, so that's probably a good spot to eat.
You may have had a few French fries from the,
Yeah.
from the kitchen.
Yeah. That's short, but not going to hurt them. They still need.
Still alive, eh?
I will say, Parker, I'll give Parker credit, not just for the couple of spectacular shots he made in this game, but there hasn't been many times when he's hesitated on playing the peel that I would have disagreed with. And yesterday I found that they just didn't seem to want to peel rock sometimes and play themselves into messes. And and that's not the case here. He's gone out at just the right times to play the peels. They may or may not make them all the time, but you got to out there.
Yeah.
Got four
Trenaman
rocks to come, so
still has hopes alive here with a few rocks in play. I'll just give you a quick update before our game ends. We have, sorry about that, I have Team Salzman 5-3 over Team Berrigan after 6 ends of play. Team Petty 6-5 after 6 ends of play over Team Lee. Girls' side, there is only one game left, and it's a good one. On sheet 8, Team Heb and Team Hamilton are tied 7-7 on after the 7th end. So going into the 8th end, Team Pembleton with Hammer, a real good one over there.
yeah, lots of points in that.
I think I can hear those girls on the microphone. Sure, the excitement is up.
Yeah, Peter McPhee, a famous Nova Scotia curler, many of you would know, used to say the first team to 8 usually wins. And it's 7-7 tie playing the last end. That sounds like it's going to be true. Anyway. So appeal coming here for Team Spindler again, and once again looks pretty good. Gets rid of one. Does put another rock in the house, which is interesting.
But it's nice and open now.
Well, you know what? I think you just split the. I don't think I'm throwing a guard here. I think I'm going on the left-hand side, way over where he's standing. Throw it over there. Then you only need one miss to tie this up.
Right.
You only got 3 rocks left. If you hit this and they hit the open one, or if they peel that one, I don't like your chances. I think you actually have a chance here. You're gonna need a miss, no question, but I just don't know if I might take my chances with the going in the house at this point. The odds are still probably not real high in your favor, but got to get it to curl a little bit though, because you're probably going to come around it again on the next one. That's a good spot. Don't need to go any deeper than that. Parker's no doubt going to hit the open one, which I expected. Problem now is when he hits this, the game's over.
Mm-hmm.
You know, where before, if you go to the open side and if he hits one, he's going to make at least 2 hits. Got to make contact twice, and doesn't have that. So, but anyway, Spindler looking to get his first win this weekend, or this week. I guess we're just getting to the weekend. Whatever. He's looking to go to 1-3, and looking to knock Trenaman back to 1-3. And again, 1 win right now, and you're in the hunt for a playoff spot. You're only 1 game back of the second place teams, but keep in mind there's 2 of them, and there's 2 ahead of them. But
looking good, Jim.
So Parker Spindler's going to have no trouble with this. And there it goes. I'll tell you what, it's a long split, but it might be there. It's hard for us to tell exactly where it is.
I was just going to ask you how you felt about that split.
Yeah. Well, what you're going to do here, you're going to throw this around the guard and hope that Parker just decides, well, I can just hit the top one and end the game. And maybe somehow or other he, he just feathers it a little bit. Maybe he moves it a little closer to the ring to give you a chance at splitting it. You're grasping, but at this point in time, if you're still playing, you're definitely grasping anyway, so. Plan A, get this one in the house, or you don't have to worry about anything after that. Sweeper's jumping on this early.
This one has to get in there.
Behind is good. You don't have to worry about him freezing or anything here. It's just like get it back there and get it buried, and that's what you want to do. You're good. Right there's perfect.
Yeah.
Very nice throw.
Yes.
Parker's not going to get tricked into going after that back one, though. He's going to just rip this front one. He's got no ice almost, so no ice for here. So he'll throw it up weight and make it go away and move on to the 3 o'clock draw.
Kudos to Team Trenaman, who may have thought whether to play this last in, and you having your opposition throw the last rock, you did a good job.
Yeah, for sure. Probably a hair wide on that, but he's going to be fine. Parker Spindler with the final rock in the 8th end here will end up with an 8-4 victory, even though they're thinking about how they're going to do this. But
Mathematically, I think you're done, boys. Nope, they're going to throw.
well,
I guess opportunity to throw one last draw as a practice and to make the
Yeah.
scoreboard look a little nicer.
yeah. So it won't be an 8-4 victory. I'll have to amend that. This game wasn't quite the way the scoreboard indicates either. Really, that like we talked about before a couple of times. Parker Spindler turned this one around in the third end with a 4-ender, and that really kind of came from nowhere. And I really think that in the case of Maxwell Trenaman, there were just a couple of times where the shot selection maybe wasn't quite 100%, and might have been able to pull something better off. But he will get 3 here in the final end, and he'll make the score much closer. And the final score will be 8-7 for Parker Spindler of Lunenburg over Maxwell Trenaman of Mayflower here in Halifax. Thank everybody for joining us this morning for this game and getting out of bed and watching this. And tell you again, 3 o'clock this afternoon, we will have another draw for you and all the way through the weekend right to the finals. So thanks for watching. And on behalf of Gail Sinclair and myself, Jim Nix, we will see you again in the next draw.
Thanks, Jim. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Gail. Never figured out where the stop button is yet, but whatever.